Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Rants with Whylove. I'm so excited today because you know I have Miss Kato and I have a new guest, D. Can I call you D? Or
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, D. And we're going to be talking about just a few subjects. Nipsey Hussle, we know what's going on there. Black entrepreneurship and us uplifting each other. So we're going to kind of really pretty much dive right in. We only got so much time.
Follow me on Instagram at silkychocolate9800.
All right, we got that. I think I'm going to break in. We laughing today, but I think I'm going to break in with, I guess, Nipsey Hussle, because I only know so much about him and what he was doing. Of course, like I feel like a lot of other people, I was kind of sleeping on him, and I learned everything about him after, unfortunately, he passed away. And I know there are many out there doing what he's doing, but don't necessarily have the revenue that he had. But I feel like I give men different denominations. I feel like there's males, there's a man, there's a nigga, little nigga, and a boy. And I feel like there are a lot of everything that I just said except for men who have opportunities or can create an opportunity for themselves and often go the other route. And it does kind of suck to me, like, as I want to tell my son about him, but then there is the hood background, so it's kind of a clash. But either way, I mean, I think what he was doing was amazing. All the different businesses. I don't ever wear bundles, but he was selling bundles, tax stuff, helping with taxes. I really think that was a good man. I see how the Crips and Bloods have came together. I feel like, if anything, we don't have to, but if anything, why not make a movement out of his death? Why not, make an honor out of it? But I know some people, feel differently. There's other people who have money who are doing some of the same things. I don't know. What are y'all opinions? It was like, how there's other people doing the same thing, but they get no recognition.
So I think that Nipsey Hussle definitely was a loss, and I think it's messed up how he was killed. I definitely am into conspiracy, so I could go miles and days on how he was killed, why he was killed, who killed him, blah, 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 blah. But overall, he brought a lot of revenue into his community, especially Slauson. He hired, I think 4,100 people. He had businesses, and I think that's great. And a lot of people were able to eat that weren't eating, and
hiring convicted felons too. I didn't know that.
Which is cool. But I do, and I wish that I was prepared. I would have wrote down a list. But there's so many people in our community that also do that, but they just not stars. They don't have the social media pool as everybody else. I mean, hiring convicted felons, Homeboys Industries do that in LA, and they've been doing that for years.
And I had no idea. I don't have an idea about a lot of things, and I gotta educate myself.
Yeah, and they hire convicted felons. That's one of their main goals. That's how they fund their shit. I mean, maybe they don't get as much recognition, and maybe they ain't the same, or I don't know. But I send people there all the time. Yeah. So I mean, I just feel like he's great, and I love that he's putting everybody on, because his death, everybody, now they know about Sage, now they know about Dr. Sebi, now they know that there's other ways of living, where to put your money at, blah, blah, blah. But there's people who've been teaching that and doing that forever.
Lisa left eye. I had no idea she was talking about Dr. Sebi. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I watched the movie.
I ain't gonna lie, I was young, so I was sleeping at the time, because I was still going, done the hyphen industry, it was the hyphen movement at the same time she was going to Dr. Sebi.
I wouldn't have cared.
So
probably either.
I was trying to grow dreads and shit. I was
for real.
No, girl.
Oh.
But
sure you would drink.
Thank you.
But I feel like when she said something like, I wish, and I'm gonna continue to educate myself more like you have. So I feel like, that's cool. She's cool, but you probably can't pick up everything that he was. So hopefully everybody comes together and picks it up. But dang, should have been educating yourself. But better late than never. Better late than never. Did you? No. Because
No,
I
Nipsey
said we could go to Black.
You love Nipsey Hussle. Why you not gonna say nothing? Bye-bye. You
Never stop, I guess. Never give up, right?
On what?
On the streets and hope and trying to get people on plant-based.
I mean,
I don't know.
girl, get out of here. But one thing,
I'm working towards that. I'm not gonna lie.
But one thing I do want to say that I think that people should really take out of the Nipsey Hussle thing, that I took out of Nipsey Hussle thing, is what to do and where to put your money.
Mm-hmm.
How that's kind of cool. I really like that. You know, even though he maybe he had more money than most, but just even with the renting, like we all be renting and stuff. Rent to own at least. Don't be, you know, if possible, if you cannot be in your house for your apartment renting for 21 years, and you could have owned that motherfucker by that time. There's hella programs.
Heck of programs.
You ain't gotta own a store, you ain't own that, but I think you should own shit for yourself so that you can give it to your kids and your family. Everybody ain't Nipsey Hussle, everybody can't buy a whole apartment complex, but you could buy your own stuff, your own things. If we cannot do car leases and go in and just buy the motherfucking car. I know it's hard to save up for it, but that would be more better if you own that Mercedes and that Rover versus renting it, basically.
Definitely something to think about. I know some people who've been in an apartment for 30 years and they be complaining about the apartment, and I see it falling apart. And like you said, I'm like, why they raised the rent for a few years or whatever?
Not if you got
but
a lease.
no
They
renovations. They've had the same carpet since I was in elementary school, and she's been working hard to
because
make
some
it.
people that you gotta advocate for that stuff when you live in an apartment. But however, some people get so comfortable, it's their house. So in their mind,
but then they complain about it. So it's like, make them other suckers fix it then,
They
or
should.
get your own cheese and you can do it yourself.
Yeah. I mean, she could do her own carpet. Like,
Yeah.
she don't have. She been different. No, she been there for 31 years, and she went to the landlord and said, "Y'all, I'm about to do my own motherfucking carpet. I want it to be green." They're gonna be like, "Please do your own carpet." You know, you should do your own carpet. But just putting your money into yourself and having stuff to pass down. Like, I'm pretty sure Nipsey Hussle probably left some stuff to his child, you know, in their name, and that's dope to be able to pass away and leave some shit for your family, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
And have your funeral paid for. Nobody was stressing about the funeral. I think they weren't even taking donations for the funeral because they were cool. And that's, I think, everybody's family, if they're able to do that. So just resources. If you are in Section 8, you definitely can rent to own a house. So please keep that in mind. Social work resources. Also, there's hella programs that help people with low income rent and buy houses, even if you're on disability, but permanent disability, of course, not temporary disability, and if you are low income. So just keep that in mind. You ain't got.
This is why y'all need to hit her up if you're having those problems. She has the answers. But dang, that was some golden info. I'm just saying, because it's all about getting up and researching. And now whenever I wonder something, I'll be like, let me hit up Google, because I can talk and talk and I don't even know what I'm talking about. I need to go get the facts. But I mean, not everything's factual on Google, but you know. I feel like we kind of wrapped in Black entrepreneurship in that, you know, because there were people saying, oh, if I make it now, or I try to be on my businessman shiz and enter the white wealthy world. And I was going to say it's not even necessarily white wealthy, but the wealthy world.
No, it's
am I
white
going to
wealthy.
get killed off? Are they going to close the door in my face? Since, I don't know, since there's still racism, so I want to say, since I guess we were all non-segregated.
Just don't become a rapper.
Yeah,
but
I mean, Black people been getting the door slammed in their face and been getting a hard time. But yeah, that rapper stuff, there's plenty of rappers out
They
there.
taking rappers out right now. They say, don't keep your lyrics to yourself.
Okay.
No, just
But how many of us necessarily are gonna have a platform and be rich and famous?
I'm trying to be a
just
rapper.
kill, you know? I mean, but I see so many Black entrepreneurs being on that real estate hype. So I'm just saying, you could be a real estate
flipping houses are cool.
Don't be afraid to be an.
Even though that is probably my shit, I'm gonna go look at my ancestry. Another thing, look up your ancestry, because I feel like I own some shit and I
feel
just
like I
don't
do
know
too.
it. Whoa.
There's something, yeah,
Like
like
they're trying to keep He blind.
Kato? I don't know, you just might.
I hope I own Moscato. You feel me? Because I'm going to be old and y'all already support me with Moscato, so I'm going to be rich. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to start a garden.
A garden. I would start a garden. Nah.
Potatoes, vegetables.
Man, did you have anything put in there? Black entrepreneur? I don't like that word. So black eat.
I don't know. I just feel like we need more black entrepreneurs out there. And with the ones we do have, I feel like us as a black community, we always looking for like discounts and shit like that.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I do hate. Like with my photography stuff, they be asking for discounts. I was like,
I'm a victim of that.
I'm very I said, bro, you know I'm broke. I just want to pay you for this 2 still pictures.
I'm a victim of that. I agree. I'm biased. Like I be like, yeah, I know I should give you the full 150. You definitely worth it. I know my shit gonna be right, and I want to support you. But then at the same time, I don't have 150, and I give you the 150. Yes, you grow, but then I'm gonna be broke. I know. And I hit the gas in my car. So it's like I kind of be like, dang, if I could only give you 125, 100, it would make a difference. And I wish they should. Even if you trick me, and this is some good tips on psychological business. The white man is not really giving me a discount. I feel like I'm giving.
There's no such thing as a discount.
Right. I feel like I'm getting a discount because the mark price say 60% off. The shit probably not even 60% off.
That's exactly what I
All
mean.
y'all gotta do is you can be like, sis, I got you. Click, click. I don't even fucking know. Like,
Exactly.
as long as the shit.
If they say something's 25 and you buying it for 14, nah, it's just $14. They just said it used to be 25. For real.
I'm just saying, it's all in business. Sometimes it's all about psychological play. Make me feel like I'm winning. I will give it to you. People do it all. Life in America is just
It's been difficulty.
That's why Black Wall Street got burned down because it was too prosperous and we were killing that shit and they was like, hell nah, they put all their money over there. We need that money.
We need to do it again.
Shut that shit down. The government wasn't winning. They was mad. It's all about money. I mean, it ain't nothing about being black owned or being scared. It's just know that, period.
Money, and what people do feel like it's because of the color of their skin.
Definitely.
Well.
That shit happens to me all the time.
Money
because of that.
and that. Mm-hmm.
But truth be told, I met a lot of black people who said they've never had any awful experiences as being a black person in America. So to each his own, everybody's different. But for those who have not experienced those experiences, just know those experiences are real. And when people talk about them, they're not fucking just saying, oh, I'm black and I'm being tortured. It's real. Like microaggressions, macroaggressions. If y'all don't know what that shit is, y'all need to go look it up. Micro, macro, real life shit. Aggressive.
So y'all could look it up. Aggressive. Macro. Aggressive.
Like when they be like, oh, you're being loud. Micro. Why the fuck are I being loud? And I'm the only black person, everybody else is quiet, huh? And I'm just the only one in my life though. But it's cool. Maybe because I'm a loud people.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe, like my mother, her hearing's gone. So she's like, if you're talking to me, talk loud and talk clear.
See?
She ain't ghetto. You just got, she gotta freaking hear you. You know?
Right.
But we definitely go some
She said, what you say now?
We go some places and they be like, ooh, but I'm like, she just wants me to hear her. And
she's getting older. What the fuck?
Be strong, be positive. We gotta get to uplifting. We gotta get to
Didn't I
uplifting.
just do that?
You basically right. I was about to say, but what I wanted to zero in on, look up all that stuff. What I wanted to make some fabulous points to zero in on was ways to uplift each other. Even if, like, I want to say my way. You know what I've been doing lately? It's 2 things. I've been saying, hi, how are you? To people where it look like they want to say it or it look like they wouldn't mind, but usually I wouldn't say nothing, bow my head down. I'm tired of doing that. I'm tired of doing that. Like I say, hi, how are you? And they be like, they open up to me. They were so happy. Lately, every person, they was so happy that I say, how are you doing?
So you do that to everybody?
No.
Just black people?
I mean, sometimes like this morning, it's like a bad day. Nah.
You do that to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be
Uplifting
anybody.
everybody. You're not just talking about
I vibe, and I know people been talking about vibing and crystals and all this, but I just vibe with person. I know, right? I
people do believe in that
vibe
mineral energy.
when I want to say something to somebody, and kids crying in Walmart or something like that, and let me look at the camera, and y'all just stand there and let them cry, and I got kids. I don't want to hear your kid cry, and I'm away from it. I went to the movies, and somebody had their kid in an adult movie, and they whining, and I'm like, I'm away from my kid. Why do I hear whining?
Not uplifting.
Let me tell you how. What I do now is I say something to the kid, or I make a face, or I'm like, maybe he needs a pacifier. I say it loud and proud, or I'm like, what you do? I try to stop them from crying, or help the mother, honestly, figure out how to deal with your kid, because clearly you're not. I mean, and then the mother in the end, she do be happy. Oh God, he's quiet, and yeah, I know. And sometimes he does this, and I'm like, you should just do. I've been taking a psychology class. I just like not walking around, doing it all day, but helping people, like just putting a smile on their face, getting them out of the stressful ass situation they ain't even gotta be in. That's my way of trying to uplift people. And then the quotes I put on Instagram, I love those. A quote goes a long way. But yeah, I do like how you educate us on some stuff. Like I didn't even know about Black Wall Street. I'm about to go and research that now. Go research y'all, because I had no idea. I had no freaking idea. I'm gonna look it up. Shoot.
They tore that shit down. Haters. Haters ball.
And then the 3 churches just burned it. I'm like, is that what they do? Like just burn
3 black
churches
churches.
in Alabama. And I'm like, there's no way to show how it started, huh? And just be like, whoa.
Same thing with the forest fires. I'd be like, that's Malibu just going on fire, and all these
A
houses.
whole city. Even my father is not a conspiracy. Learn the history to believe, because I put
Basically, maybe that's what it is. Because then people will be like, all this shit's connecting. But like, nah, man.
and we're not talking about
It's
aliens.
not isolated. Nothing's ever just an isolated incident.
Yeah.
But even Nipsey's death is not an isolated incident. That shit is a whole bunch of levels to that. We all, even some of the stuff that we see or talk about, if we all stood together and got it together, you'd be like, dang, you got a point. It'd be like 10, 20 million things. You be like, damn. The ops got him, bruh. That was the that was the feds, bruh. That nigga was working for the boy. Then
we got the person who killed him saying it was from the feds. So he confirming heck of conspiracies.
Nigga, aliens is real. No, I'm just playing.
I believe in mermaids and extraterrestrials. I mean, because they say aliens could be like, anybody who's not from, so
What I started thinking is every time I see like a black woman, I would start, she's beautiful.
That's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
I like that one. I love that one. Heck yeah.
To be honest, I feel like just when I speak, no, I'm just playing. But my favorite thing to do, to be honest with you, is not to judge people.
That's weird.
I really don't. My motto is do you, and I will support you around what you're doing and associate us accordingly. I'm not judging. I do not give a damn. You could be like every day she tell me she on her way to my house. I don't never see her. I do not be mad. That is still my homie. I don't give a damn. You went left, okay? I see. Hopefully next time you go right one of these days, I'll see you. But if you don't, shit, I'm still coming to your birthday party, bitch.
Right, exactly.
Like, I just don't I feel like
judge you, right?
It's just even this girl right here getting off.
And I know I do it because I'm peculiar.
But that's her and her being, that's herself, and accordingly, like I don't even be tripping. I still came over and do the damn video.
I know.
And I don't care.
We'll grow.
Right, just accept people for who they are as a being, and it's hard, but I mean, it must be done to our black people, because everybody was not raised different. All black people are not the same. Everybody's not from the same location. You gotta remember, we all was split up and divided. Even if you thought that was the same tribe or the same clan, they ain't the same customs. Like, y'all have to remember, everybody's split. and dissected and cut up, and so you got 3 different 400 tribes right here, just in
Right here.
sitting right here, and then we all just like, why the fuck you don't feel the way I feel? I don't have to feel the way you feel, and that's the problem. I don't have to feel the way you feel, but we should all respect each other.
Exactly.
I don't give.
I was about to say, when you moved here, I thought it was almost going to be like the last person who lived here, not the bullshit, not the bullshit. Just, you know, going out and coming over like in my face and energetic, but she's kind of old school, you know, like old soul. So it's something that I could work with. The person who's here before, it's like they wanted me to entertain them, but with her, it's laid back. I can call her. It's like, what's up? What you doing? Want to get a ube drink, or want to go here, or oh, I'm about to take a nap, and then we going out like. And she be ready to twerk and pop off, and I like that. That's cool. But yeah,
the beautiful thing in acknowledging people. I feel like a lot of people look down because we all the time don't know what to expect, because the world is constantly not saying hi. And so if you don't have a lot of positive experiences, I don't expect it. Yeah. So it's nice to, when someone says you're beautiful, or I like your outfit, or oh, okay girl, hey, or what you doing, or what do? You seem smart as fuck. Like that shit makes a difference.
And yeah, saying you beautiful, y'all. Always. And I be telling, that's why I call it rants. We are ranting. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, we so quick, I feel like, to show negativity sometimes instead of positivity. Maybe not us, but gosh, like the average person. Earlier today, somebody was at a red light, they could turn. Their window was down, my window was down. And my teacher, I was probably being like my teacher says, we always in a rush. But I wasn't in a rush. It was just like, I'm like, you can go. It's red, but it doesn't say no turn on red, so go, right? I went, put my car around them, and was about to turn, but they went out of their way to speed up and then turn with me. And it's like, wow. So we almost crashed.
We would just stare at each other. If I was supposed to be, we just stared at each other.
Just there.
I'm not backing up.
Yeah, like, it was just like he was ready to risk my car and his car when you were just sitting your ass there. When I make the move, you
I'm
finally.
gonna be honest.
I feel like people do that. That was probably a bad example.
That is California road rage.
But I
for
have
you.
stuff
Somebody
like
in
that
Texas
all
right
the
now.
time.
Damn. What the
I know, like, what the fuck?
Make a right turn and a
Doing
left. Oh, I should go straight.
It was crazy, but I have other examples like that. Like, God, at the store, people, I don't know what's going on with customer service, but they be disrespectful. Like, they're angry and irritated with me because I'm asking questions they're supposed to. I don't know. I just feel like y'all always try to be positive. This world definitely will keep us in a dark place. Let's try to stay in a light place. I don't know. Negative ass motherfuckers. I probably got off topic, but anyways. Thanks for tuning in to another Rants with Whylove.
Yes.
Miss Kato, D here. We'll see you again next time, and thank you for tuning in.
Bye.
But my home was never on